Hello everybody. So this is the final quiz of this academic year. So here is the quiz. The histoimages from this case today show, so the first set of images are essentially lower powers. This is a lower power showing a superficial and deep perivascular and also periappendageal infiltrate. You can see here these are eccrine glands, and here these look like sort of nerve bundles, muscles. This is the rectoris pylorum muscle, and also there is an infiltrate in the papillary dermis. Okay, so it's a superficial and deep infiltrate. So what other characteristics does it have? Now, as I told you, this is a close-up of this sort of area here, and this is a muscle cell. And muscle cells are different from nerve cells, which is what it is here. This nerve cell is trapped along with the eccrine gland. Okay. Now, eccrine glands and eccrine glands are quite deep, and so is a nerve fiber. If you're looking for perineural infiltration in Hansen's, this is where you need to look at. You need to look deep in the dermis. In the mid dermis, superficial dermis, what you're seeing more of is a erectoris pylorum muscle. It has a much more eosinophilic cytoplasm, the muscle cell, and the nuclei are not as wavy. The nuclei are much more short and straight. Okay, here the cells are more spindly. You can see here there's a wavy nucleus, and the cytoplasm is relatively less compared to the nuclei. Here, for this amount of cytoplasm, there's 2 nuclei here. That's it. Okay, so this is how you differentiate between a muscle and a nerve. So this is number 1 is erectoris pylorum muscle, number 3 is an eccrine gland, and number 2 is a nerve bundle, small nerve fiber rather, and you're seeing infiltrates, lymphocytic infiltrate around all these areas. Now what you're also seeing is epidermal atrophy with orthokeratosis. It's basket weave pattern orthokeratosis, epidermal atrophy. Here there is loss of retiridges, and you're seeing vacuolar interface change. Now, vacuolar interface change is seen very commonly in the tuberculoid end of the spectrum, but this is not tuberculoid Hansen's, this is borderline tuberculoid Hansen's. This is not, you're not seeing definitive granulomas. These are very vague granulomas. Though on the higher power image I uploaded later on here, you're seeing a definitive granuloma here. But then the granulomas are sparse. It's more of a predominantly lymphocytic infiltrate. So this is vacuolar interface change associated with lymphocytes and histiocytes. So this is a granuloma. These are histiocytes. This is a histiocyte. These are lymphocytes. This is a histiocyte. What this is this is a granuloma here, a definitive granuloma around the erectoris pylorum muscle associated with, this is an epithelioid histiocyte. These two are giant cells. Okay. And this is vacuolar interface change. So here are all the answers that I've asked to the questions I've asked you. Now, if you had come to the workshop we organized in Vijayawada a few weeks ago, you would have learned that infiltration of erectoris pylorum muscle is quite specific for the diagnosis of Hansen's disease, and that is what the diagnosis is here today. This is borderline in the tuberculoid spectrum, borderline tuberculoid Hansen's. Okay. Of course, infiltration of nerves and infiltration of and perieccrine infiltrates are also seen in Hansen's, though they're not very specific. You can see them in other conditions, but perieccrine infiltrates, peripylar infiltrates, especially when the muscle cell is destroyed, is fairly specific to the diagnosis of Hansen's. Okay, so the final diagnosis, Hansen's disease. If you've said tuberculoid Hansen's, then a borderline tuberculoid, actually you get 10% marks. Any other answer in the tuberculoid spectrum, also in the Hansen spectrum, you can still give yourself full marks. Okay, thank you very much.